Loyalty. It's in the name.
Welcome into season 5 of the Good Old Fashioned Dislike podcast, where dynasties never die and hate is an extreme word, but just barely. On this podcast, we pick a football rivalry and we submit that rivalry to the panel dislike, which I'm joined by two tonight. They will come up with the reasons why we like one team, dislike one team, and vice versa. By the end, we usually come to a conclusion of where football loyalties lie. But tonight, we're talking a little bit about the SEC football season and how it's going to go. We've got with us live in studio two of my bestest pals in the whole wide world. I'm Travis Creasy, the host of the Dislike Podcast, 5 seasons now. That's kind of insane. We've got with us tonight in studio Will Mahan, who's the youth minister there at Highland Park Church of Christ, does a lot of running around there with Walk for Water as well, while also being secondary dad of the year, only to our other guest, the resident Barner himself, Blake Holloman. What's up, brother?
Man, glad to only have to deal with 2 Bammers tonight. Usually it's a full panel, so
yeah.
I'll take what
God
I
bless
get.
you. Will, how's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm ready to hear your weekly put together of our group text, which is, scary at times. But the dislike is always a favorite of mine and brings quite a few laughs because we don't get to hear everything that you're going to put together. So those little tidbits that you add always bring a lot of joy. So I'm excited.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure who we're rolling with first on the first week. This is going to be this week's, week 0. We got,
Right.
Is it North Carolina and TCU in Ireland? Is that how that's working?
I haven't even seen
this Saturday.
Goodness.
I don't know.
That sounds have to travel to Ireland.
That's about the most random 2 people playing in Ireland that I've ever even
I just remember Bill Belichick having a rough start to the season last year. I don't think he got much better than that. I think TCU put it on pretty good last year. Now they're going to travel to Ireland to see if they'll do it again. But nonetheless, I think Ben Hayes might join us from the road. If you are listening to this or watching it, if you were part of our Patreon, you could have joined us live. And so check that out. But I asked a question earlier before we got on, fellas, and I'd like to start with we're going to start with LSU because I think they're one of the teams that is the most volatile, the most, you just don't know what they're going to do. It could be really off the rails fast, or they could be a juggernaut. And then we'll kick it over to Auburn and let Blake kind of give us his spill on what he thinks the outlook is. So, guys, as I questioned earlier, across all sports, has there ever been a team, a school that had a crazier off season than LSU, the Bayou Bengals?
I know their basketball team at one point had 1 player, maybe.
I think it's up to 3 now.
Yeah, and they're former NBA players. So these people live in their own world, which I can respect it, but they don't care about anybody else. They don't care about the rules. They're making their own path, and they're going to make some lawyer in Baton Rouge tell them no.
Yeah.
And so I say go for it and get it while you can if you're LSU. It's crazy.
Didn't Sankey just come out today and say that any coach that puts a former NFL rostered player on their college football team, the coach is now suspended? So, but Lane was the one that was actively recruiting guys that were still on NFL rosters.
Yeah, this just says SEC to suspend head coaches who bring back NFL, NBA, or WNBA players to their programs. So LSU don't know what's going on. The SEC don't know what's going on. We're making up the rules as we go. So,
I was thinking LSU might go off the rails, October, November, but they're getting a jump on it. June, July.
Yes.
Why not? The ladies' head coach, basketball coach, lost a player today, right? Did y'all see this where They had
Oh,
a player decommit, Ukrainian player decommit because she committed
They
a
signed-
Russian player.
yeah, signed the Russian player and the Ukrainian hit the portal. And then she came out and said, I will not recruit players based off political rivals, and did a whole, statement about it. And Mulkey's already just
and on her own planet.
yeah, she's just
Yeah.
a quite the figure, which seems to be, what is it? Mulkey, Will Wade is back at LSU, who's also crazy, who Nate Oates almost got in a fight with in the SEC championship several years ago. And then you add Lane into it. It's just
And
going,
isn't Orgeron coaching the D line?
Orgeron, he's back, isn't he?
yeah.
He's back
Yeah.
on. Okay.
I saw a
Les
clip
Miles
of him
eating grass. I mean, it's been a long,
they need
long
him
run.
for turf management.
They've all had success, though, at some level, the craziness.
And then
So
the starting linebackers dating Kiffin's daughter.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? I'll get us going. I'm really, after saying all that, I'm really questioning. And that's not even mentioning all the transfers that they brought in. Sam Levitt, who's starting quarterback, coming off an injury. He led Arizona State into starting Vegas last year and took an L. We didn't even mention Lane leaving Ole Miss. They play Ole Miss in Oxford. That's if he survives that trip, maybe literally.
That'll
So,
be
but
shades of Cam Newton going into Bryant Denny. I mean, that might burn that place down.
LSU also, just sidebar, has 42 transfers this year on their roster.
yeah. So I'm going LSU. I'm going to go 9-3.
That's what I was going to
I don't think that's completely off the. I probably went against my own thinking because I was thinking, they're either going to be off the rails or they're going to be a juggernaut. But I think with all that going on, you got 3 losses out there somewhere.
I've got them going 10-2, and I've got Ole Miss beating them, and I've got Tennessee beating them too.
Ooh.
Lane loses to both of his former teams, and I think that's just that would be the most poetic way for all of this to happen. Would be Lane can't get past his 2 former teams.
Baton Rouge may burn down if he loses to both of those on the road. And that's an awful stadium to any LSU fan. It's the worst I've ever been treated by any fan base. Was when I went to Baton Rouge. But
I think if I'm going to give them a third loss, it may be in that streak where they get Bama, Texas, and Tennessee.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going 9-3. I had them at 10-2, but after going through the craziness, I was like, man, that's worth one more L. That's one more L. What you got, Will? Or go ahead, Blake.
They play in Auburn too.
I was going to go 9-3, but they lose to Auburn.
And that starts that streak. I mean, that's like at Auburn, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee.
Bama, Texas, Tennessee.
So Auburn may be a trap game because they're looking forward to the rest of the schedule. So
Blake out here trying to talk me into giving Auburn more wins.
They could LSU could be 10-2, or they could be 6-6. Nobody knows.
Yeah, that's true. I think it could go. 12-0 or 8-4. But I think they could lose. Really, they could lose at Auburn. They could lose Bama. They could lose Texas or Tennessee. I don't know that they get out of there without losing at least 2.
Well, Rocky Top, everybody's underselling. They're thinking Ole Miss, him going back to Oxford, but they still don't like him up there where the orange flows.
Yeah. And I don't know, but they get A&M at home. So, yeah, I'm going to go 9-3. I'm going to go 9-3. That's what I was thinking.
Ben Hayes agrees at LSU 9-3, and Josh Thorne has got them at 10-2. Knocking on the door of Atlanta. Of course, that gets them in the playoffs, I would think, as well. So, nine SEC games this year, fellas.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I think he got due. I think Sankey took to the cleaners on that. But all right, Blake, give us your Auburn spiel, man. Tell us.
All right. So we got a new regime for like the 3rd time this decade at Auburn. Alex Golish brings South Florida north, essentially. Brings all of his coaching staff with him. I'm a believer in Alex Golish. He is doing things at Auburn that have not been done before as far as building culture. Auburn, like other schools, have a lot of transfers. He brought the band director in the Auburn meeting room and taught Auburn, the new Auburn players, the Auburn fight song, the first down songs, just kind of indoctrinated all the new people into what Auburn has to offer. So I really do think that he is trying to build a culture at Auburn. If you don't know much about Alex Golish beyond that, he was at Tennessee and South Florida. And Tennessee, when he was there with Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt and that squad, they had the best offense in the country. And
I'd like to get some sleep tonight, Blake. Don't bring up bad news.
Well, he's got a proven track record. South Florida wasn't very good when he got there, and they went like 9-3, and they won in the swamp last year. So that's Alex Golish. I really believe in him. Now, the player that everyone is sleeping on, he's not getting any respect around the country, is the quarterback, Byron Brown. It was assumed from the beginning that Byron Brown was going to come to Auburn with Alex Golish. So Byron Brown never hit the open market. And so he didn't get all the publicity like a Sam Levitt or any of these, like a Darian Mensah, like these top transfers. But he is one of 11 players ever to have 1,000 yards rushing and 3,000 yards passing in the same season. The last guy to do it went by the name of Lamar Jackson. I know it was at South Florida level of competition, but that's hard to do, period.
Yeah.
So I think he may be the most underrated player, or one of the most underrated players in the country. Now, when you look at Auburn's schedule, it's not very hard for
Auburn schedule
for the first year head coach there. He's got, Will, do you have their schedule pulled up?
Yeah, so he's got Baylor in Atlanta, then Southern Miss, Florida, Vandy, Tennessee, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Arkansas.
That stretch starting with Tennessee right there.
Yeah.
And 3 out of those 4 are on the road.
At Tennessee, at Georgia, and at Ole Miss.
Yes. And it's like in the dead middle of the season.
And then at Alabama.
So he's got his work cut out for him. But I believe in Alex Golish. He's not giving me any reason to doubt him. He's not a rah-rah guy like Hugh Freeze was and tried to talk his way through some of this stuff. He's not had these flashy big-time recruits. He's pretty comfortable with what he's got. So I've got Auburn going 8-4. And if Auburn goes 8-4 in year one, I really like where this program is headed.
Yeah. I've got Auburn. I think they beat everybody they're supposed to beat, and they scare everybody else. I think I've got them at 7-5. They're going to play Bama tough. Don't matter where it's at. I'm thankful. I mean, if it was, of course, when they go down to the Plains, I always pick Bama to lose. So it's like when they go to Tennessee, but I got them going 7-5, and just changing the culture alone means they're not going to lose to anybody they're not supposed to, and they're going to scare some folks that they're really don't have any business doing. But I got them 7-5, which is an improvement, and I agree. I think you're going to be sky high this time next year on the Tigers for sure. Will?
Yeah, I've been sitting here fluctuating between 8-4 and 7-5 as well. Man, that middle of the schedule is just tough.
And we have a brand new offensive line for like the 3rd year in a row. We got 5 new transfers again. So
I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to set it 8-4. I think they probably drop They probably win one of those 3 road games. Like they may win at Ole Miss, something like that, or at Tennessee. I don't think that necessarily Tennessee is as dynamic as what they have been. So I think that could be Tennessee may not look at them as being much, so they could surprise. So I'm gonna go 8-4.
Will, what'd you say LSU is going to do?
9-3.
9-3.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Josh Thorne has Auburn at 7-5. He agrees with me, and then Hayes has got them at 7-5. So we got them. We've all got them improving in year one of Alex Golish, which I think says a lot to what you're talking about. And so 8. I'd go 8 wins before I'd go 6. So I'd be.
Well, the question is what if he comes out and has a 6-6 season? Does that?
Yeah.
Does the Auburn
bowl game, but still an improvement, So
does the fan base just turn on him immediately, or is it a?
I think Vegas has got Auburn at 7.5.
Gotcha.
So I think anything under 7 would be a huge disappointment in year one. But he's building here. So
is Brown a senior or is he?
Unfortunately,
yeah. So he's a one and done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. We can rattle off a couple of these pretty quickly. Let's go. Let's just start at the bottom of the barrel alphabetically. I don't want these Commodore fans out here coming at me in the comments. And so we will start with the Vanderbilt Commodores. And I've got Vandy not being bowl eligible. I think they go 5-7.
What a fall.
10-win season last year, right?
I'm so glad Diego Pavia is gone because he has been beating Auburn ever since I can remember. He even beat Auburn when he was at New Mexico State. So, Vandy.
Yeah, it kind of dawned on me the other day. I was like, I'm so glad Diego Pavia's gone because he got Bama. And then I thought, man, Auburn cannot be overjoyed. And Tennessee probably, too. They beat Tennessee, whooped them on Rocky Top last year.
And I think Pavia even beat Hugh Freeze when he was at Liberty or something
Yeah.
crazy. So, just haunted him for 4 or 5 years.
Vandy does have the 5-star quarterback that flipped from Georgia.
He's not
starting.
Oh, he's not.
Blaze Berlowitz beat him out for the job.
Berlowitz, that's amazing.
Who is that guy? Was he already there or was he a transfer?
No idea.
I need Jonathan Henson.
Yeah, there you go.
Our only Vandy fan. The only person I know that has season tickets to Vanderbilt anything. Travis, you had Vandy at what?
I've got Vandy at 5-7. Ben agrees at 5-7, and Josh Thorne is going 4-8. So a big drop off.
I'm going to go 6-6.
Uh-oh. I think Nashville will take that.
They had their, they had their rise, they had their few years, but it's time to.
They also got the one of the top wide receiver projects in the SEC. He was a 5-star receiver that came with the Georgia kid. He was from the Nashville area.
They've already upgraded their profile.
Yeah,
I think 6-6 they give Lee the key to the city.
The lifetime contract.
And if they lose early, they're going to let that Jared Curtis guy play because he'll be hitting the portal.
Yeah,
if he's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What'd you say, Blake?
6-6 for
6-6.
Vandy.
Man, they've got it tough. They've got to go on the road to Auburn, to Georgia, Kentucky. Kentucky may be a little different this year, and Florida. So
next up, we got the Texas A&M Aggies, Aggie Land. I have the Aggies at 8-4.
The Fighting Yellow.
9-3. Excuse me, 9-3. I think the A&M Alabama matchup in Tuscaloosa determines which one of those guys are getting in the playoffs. I think there's a 9-3 school that gets in this year, and it's going to be the winner of that game in Tuscaloosa. I got the Aggies at 9-3.
I've got them at 8-4. I just they do this every year, man. They're
hyped.
they've
every
got
year.
all the money in the world. They've got the biggest, the biggest, the baddest line. They got all these 5-star wide receivers. I just don't think Marcel Reed is that good of a quarterback. I really don't. And I think he gets bailed out by those players a lot. But Elko, he's all right. He's nothing to write home about, in my opinion. I think A&M loses to LSU, at LSU, at Alabama, Texas, and Oklahoma. So everybody in their backyard pretty much is.
That 10-win season last year, 11-win, that was set up a lot by schedule. I mean, it was – can't believe South Carolina let them off the hook.
They were down 31-0 to them.
That's what I was going to say. I think they go 8-4, but I'm going to have them losing at South Carolina.
Very possible.
To Lenora Sellers.
Who also thinks so.
Josh Thorne's got A&M at 8-4 as well, and Hayes has them at 7-5. Huge drop off. I like it. Bold, Cotton, bold. We got the Fighting Arch Mannings of Texas. They kick off they got Ohio State again. I don't think they start with Ohio State this year, but they're early.
Their second week 2 is Ohio State.
I got the Longhorns, the real UT, I would call them, going 11-1, and they lose to Ohio State again. My pick. Ben's got them at 11-1, and Josh Thorne has Texas at 11-1.
I'll go
what
first.
Say you?
So you don't think I'm copying you?
Okay.
I'm going 9-3. Here's my thing. Sark can't get over the hump. Sark is a phenomenal. I think he's a great play caller. He did a lot of good things for Alabama. I think Texas is another one. Of course, they've got all the money in the world as well. I think Arch is going to be good. I don't know that I'm drinking the Kool-Aid of Arch, with everything just yet. But, I mean, to me, it's that thing again of like, they're the greatest. They've got a Manning. They've got Sark. Everything's good. And it's like there's always an issue. And I'm like you. I think they lose at Ohio State. I think at Tennessee could be a tricky one early in the season. They got at LSU and at A&M. I mean, we can say what we want to about A&M, but playing in College Station ain't easy.
No.
And so that you finish the season off at LSU, then Arkansas, and then a rival game with A&M. I can see it happening. So I'm gonna go 9-3.
Good deal.
I got Texas at 11-1, with their only loss being to LSU.
Ooh.
I like Lane because I think it's at LSU if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
But I like Lane in this type of matchup. I think the other spots that I've got LSU losing, Tennessee and Ole Miss, those are going to be big games. But I think Lane will really be fired up for this one. And I think Texas drops it. So
I hope they give them an 11 a.m. kick.
Big noon kickoff.
Hey, that
Texas, that is what they normally get.
Yeah. I mean, LSU gets the home games at night, baby. So
all of them, apparently.
Yeah.
Good gracious. All right, we go to the cheap knockoff UT in that gaudy orange of the Vials up on Rocky Flop. I've got them at 8-4, and the natives are restless. Bobby Hill may be on his way out, which cracks me up because I'm kind of in the camp that 8-4 is too good for those guys. Y'all know me. 0-12 for them is too good. So I got them 8-4. Ben Hayes has them at 8-4. That's right. Josh Thorne has them at 9-3. like I said, there's a 9-3 team I think making the playoffs this year, and there's going to be a couple of SEC teams that'll have arguments for it.
Well, one of the best things would be remiss not to say to rest in peace to the great Dolly Parton of the state of Tennessee. One of the only good things about the state has left the state and the
R.I.P.
I'm going to go. I'm trying to decide between 8-4 and 9-3.
I got them losing to Texas. I got them losing at South Carolina, just to replay a heartbreaking loss from a few years ago. They lose at A&M and LSU in back-to-back weeks. So that's where I'm at.
I'm gonna go 8-4. They're gonna lose to Bama.
Up on Rocky Flump. I'll be a happy camper. Blake, what you got, brother?
I got Tennessee going 8-4, beating Alabama.
So
at home. They got Alabama at home.
So where's the other loss?
I think Keelan Russell is going to be that's going to be a good welcome to the SEC for you.
Bridge too far, right?
I think so. So I've got them losing to Auburn, Texas, LSU, and A&M.
So you got them finishing up. Man, they don't have an easy schedule. They're through the middle.
Oh yeah, they got. I think everybody got a rough patch if you got 9 SEC games at some point.
How do you?
Next, we got South Carolina, and so I'm asking you, with your pick, is Shane Beamer in Columbus? Is he out South Carolina next year? I've got him going 7-5, giving the Tide a heart attack again, but yet again the Tide breaks their heart in Tuscaloosa.
What did they go last season?
It was very underwhelming. I know that.
Yeah,
because I was listening to an analyst the other day.
They had A&M on the ropes at College Station. They had Alabama on the ropes at home.
So I was watching an analyst the other day that was talking about the same thing about, is Beamer going to be there?
They went 4-8 last
4-8.
year.
So if you go back and look at South Carolina's schedule, every year that Beamer has a bad year, the next year is immensely better. And so what they were saying is, will the South Carolina fans give him 2 consecutive underwhelming seasons?
I can't believe 7-5 is that big of an increase, but I guess it was. So,
but it goes back to, is the 9 SEC games, does that give a little bit of care? I'm going to go 7-5.
Hayes got them 6-6, and Thorne has them at 7-5 as well. What you got, Blake?
I've got them at 7-5 as well. And if you remember to last year's episode of this show, came on here and said Lenore Sellers is very overrated and not that good. I still believe that. I don't think his glasses that he would his goggle glasses are that the right strength prescription. So I still don't think he's good. I think he caught lightning in a bottle 2 or 3 years ago and was really good. And I think Beamer is gone from Columbia, and I think 7-5 they fire him.
Dylan Stewart is a beast, and he's back. And I'll say, I think in that game was the first time Ty Simpson really got rocked. There was one where Dylan Stewart got home, and I don't think Ty was the same the rest of the year.
Are both of their ends coming back?
Maybe, because one of their guys was a backup transferred to Bama, and he's supposed to be one of Alabama's good ends, but he couldn't ever get Dylan Stewart off the field. So
yeah, I was about to say both of those dudes were animals.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next we got the Oklahoma Boomer Sooners, and Venables getting off the mat last year. I think he was in trouble. Made the playoffs. He did lose by blowing a 17-point lead to the Tide. I've got Oklahoma at 9-3, and another one of those teams that's going to have an argument for the playoffs.
Is their quarterback's coming back, right? Jackson?
John Mateer.
John Mateer, that's right.
Yeah. Don't say Jackson Arnold. There's some Oklahoma fan that just had a heart attack. Some Auburn fan just had a heart attack. Who else is having a heart attack?
Well, apparently he's in a battle for the UNLV job
Nice.
currently with Dan Mullen, who's their head coach. So
He's got the Boomer Sooners going 10-2. That's going to put them almost in Atlanta.
That's a
Josh
stretch.
Thorne's got Oklahoma at 9-3 too.
I've got Oklahoma at 8-4. I think they're going to be just like they were last year. They're going to be really good until John Mateer gets hurt
From running all over the field.
because he has to try to play like a Johnny Manziel type of player, and I don't think he will be able to do it. Now, Venables has their he's a great defensive coach, so they're going to be in games. But I think they're going to be really good until he gets some wear on him this year.
Will, what'd you say about South Carolina?
7-5.
Sweet. What about the Boomers?
I'm going to go 8-4 as well. I'm going to say they lose at Michigan, at Georgia. They lose to Texas, and then I think A&M gets them at the end of the season.
I got them losing to Ole Miss.
No, yeah, Ole Miss, A&M. They got to go at Florida, then come home to Ole Miss and A&M. It's not an easy way to end. Then at Missouri. I don't know that Missouri's got anything this year, so I'm gonna go 8-4.
All right, we're on to the Ole Miss Rebels, a.k.a. Pete Golding War Crimes, having Will Anderson drop back into coverage 50% of the time. Golden dislike out the gate. He takes over after a victory. He beat Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs in the postseason. Gets beat, had a legitimate shot to beat Miami and get Ole Miss into the national championship game. Would have been interesting to see how that played out. I've got Ole Miss kind of returning, taking a step back a little bit at 8-4.
I think there's only so much Trinidad Chambliss will be able to do. Now Ole Miss did surprisingly well in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of dudes. They got Auburn's number one corner.
Apparently talking to Clemson players while they're in class.
Apparently talking to Clemson. And Dabo was very outspoken there. But, they got a lot of dudes in the portal. So he's trying to beef up that defense because he realizes that Chambliss might be in some shootouts. And so I've got Ole Miss going 9-3.
Ole Miss at 9-3. Hayes has got them at 7-5.
Oh,
Taking a big step back.
I hope that happens.
And Josh Thorne agrees with 8-4. Willard?
I just don't know, Pete Golding is that's the difference for me. Is I love his interviews because he's just an old ball coach. You can tell that politically he has no idea how to really talk or say the correct thing, which makes me think that he's probably a really good players coach. I just don't know about any of his assistants because finishing out last year, did he not have Charlie Weiss Jr. the whole way out?
Yeah.
And so it's all those guys have left. I think they lose to LSU. They lose to Texas. I've already said I think they lose to Auburn. I'm going to go 8-4.
8-4 for the land bear sharks of doom and destruction, Rebel Bears. Did I say Bears? And number next, Blake, did you tell us? You told us, right? I didn't skip you, did I? 9-3. So next we have the Missouri Tigers, which I've heard nothing about outside their running back getting shot. And I've got them at 6-6.
You know how much I know about Missouri Tigers? I didn't even know their running back got shot. 6-6. Next. Who cares?
I mean, we hope he's okay. We
Yes.
do,
I mean,
we do hope that he's fine. But
that makes a full recovery, but their
holy cow!
football team is very irrelevant.
So to get the schedules, I just got AI to pull up every schedule real quickly, and it said my prediction off of AI is 8-4. Is what AI say.
Nice.
But that's not going to be Will's prediction. But they play Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kansas, Troy, and Mississippi State to start the year. That's got to be 4 wins with Drinkowitz. Florida, A&M, Ole Miss. They got to go A&M, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Texas, and Georgia. They may lose every one of those games. I'm going to go 7-5.
7-5.
Is Kentucky any good? I'm sure they're next.
Josh Thorne. Josh Thorne's got Mizzou at 7-5, and Ben has them at 6-6. Next up, we have Mississippi State. I got the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, clang going 4-8. I thought, and that they're another team like South Carolina that had people on the ropes. There was a couple. They should have beat Tennessee. They should have beat Texas. Who else? There was some. They beat Arizona State with Sam Leavitt, but I just don't think they're to the point. They got the Tide coming to town. That'll be clang city. But I've got Mississippi State at 4-8.
Have you heard their schedule? So they're at South Carolina, then Missouri, Bama, LSU, Oklahoma, and Texas, all back to back. Yeah, give me 4-8. They may not even get to the end of the year. Then they get a break at Vandy, and then they go to Auburn and Ole Miss.
Whoa,
that's going to be rough.
I've got Mississippi State going 4-8, but I believe they have the best player that you have never heard of. Camario Taylor is their quarterback.
Yep.
If you haven't heard of him before now, you will, because I think he is a really good quarterback. I think if he was on a different team, like if you swapped him and maybe put him on a Florida, put him on a Tennessee, a middle of the road team, I think he could take a team like that to the next level. So, but he's on Mississippi State. They're not that great, so I got him 4-8.
They do have Jeff Levy, who I think could.
He's all right.
He can be
coming
the
to a
best.
Vandy near you, Camario Taylor.
I'd say probably going to be Auburn's starting quarterback next year.
I'll take him.
He says, "I'll go get him." Hayes says 3-9 for the Bulldogs of Mississippi and Mississippi State. Excuse me. And Josh has them at 3-9 as well.
Good mercy.
I've got. Let's see. We got Mississippi State. We talked about LSU, the Kentucky Wildcats, who are a popular pick to give the Tide a run for their money at Kroger Field in Lexington, week 2. I've got the Wildcats after cutting loose Mr. Stoops in the offseason. They picked up Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein. They are transfer U as well. But I've still got them going 3-9. I do think they could give Bama a scare, maybe push them deep into the third. But just because it's Keelan's first trip out of Tuscaloosa. But I got them at a pretty strong 3-9, if you can be strong at 3-9. Hayes got them at 4-8. Josh has them at 5-7.
I've got them at 5-7 as well, but I think the best thing they could do for their football program is to go blue turf.
Yes.
Bluegrass state. They wear blue jerseys.
Makes all the sense in the world.
We saw the success with Boise doing it. Bring the blue turf to Kentucky. That would help their football team more than trying to win on the field. So
right,
I'm gonna go 4-8.
4-8. Will Stein. What'd you say for Mississippi State again?
I had 4-8 for Mississippi State and 4-8 for Kentucky.
Nice. All right, let's see. Next up, we have the Georgia Bulldogs. Ben Hayes, I think, has joined the studio. He is driving back from Nashville, so we won't be seeing him, or at least I hope not. Ben, what's up?
What up? Can you hear me okay?
We can. We have just landed on the Georgia Bulldogs. I had them at 12-0, but now I've got them at 11-1. I just haven't seen them do a 12-0 in a while, and I'm not sure they're set up to do it, especially with 9 SEC games. If you had the schedule in front of me to pick one they would lose, I would have a hard time picking one. But they do have the Tide in Tuscaloosa, and the Boars pulled it off so far over there. But I don't know if I'd go that route. But I got Georgia at 11-1. Ben, you've got them at 12-0 on the season.
Yeah, and that's probably a stretch. I was trying to remember if I did a 12-0 or 11-1 because it is hard to go on a 12-0 run at this point with SEC schedules the way they are.
Josh has got Georgia at 11-1 as well. So Blake and Will, we'll leave it to you.
You and Gary, me go.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go 10-2. So I mean they got Arkansas, Oklahoma, a week at Vandy, then they're at Alabama, Auburn, Florida, and Ole Miss. I just think that's going to be tough with that schedule. But they're only at Arkansas, at Alabama, and at Ole Miss, and at South Carolina. So, but I mean that's a pretty rough stretch. Once again that Auburn. You come off a week in Alabama, go straight to Auburn and Florida, and then at Ole Miss. That may cause some trouble. So I'm going to go 10-2.
It's a good thing Georgia buses their players to games because we don't need them driving themselves, that's for sure. Blake, what you got?
I got them going 11-1. Probably for the same reasons that Will just said, that middle part of their schedule, Auburn, Florida. I think they drop one of those, but they're going to be a contender just like always.
Yeah. Tough out. All right. Did I say Josh's? I think I did. The 11-1. Next up, we've got the Florida Gators, the John Summerall Florida Gators. Talking about kind of being an old ball coach. He's got some of that to him, Will, as well.
When he's not getting pedicures.
He's not getting pedicures, for sure. And so I just realized that I left the Helping Healing Humor banner up and not put the dislike, but it's okay. We're just going to roll with it because we're professionals like that. But yeah, we got the Florida Gators. I've got them improving, and this has got to hurt their feelings for me to say improving to 6-6. Ben, you've got the Gators coming in at 9-3, a big change.
What is Ben on tonight? There's been some crazy picks.
I'm weird. I don't know anything about what's going on, so
We know.
Obviously,
it doesn't really matter. We're all going to be wrong about something, I bet.
Yeah,
you're just going to be.
I'm just going to be wrong about more.
As Will asked earlier, last year we allowed whoever had the most picks right, kind of determined our March Madness pick'em, who got to pick the first game. So it does have some impact, not quite the impact that the postseason does. Josh Thorne has them going 7-5, the good old Gators. Blake and Will.
I've got them going 6-6, but I'll tell you this right here. Florida plays Auburn week 3, or the third game of the schedule. This game is probably the most pivotal game on the schedule for both teams, because I think if you win or lose this game, I think it sets up kind of the tone for the rest of the season. If Florida beats Auburn, I think they go better than 6-6, but I've got Auburn beating Florida, so I think they go 6-6. But that'll be a really good game to watch out for the rest of Florida's season.
All right, Will, do it to it.
I think they'll lose at Texas, lose to Georgia. I think they'll probably lose at Auburn.
think Auburn's got better players.
I think they
Right
lose
now.
at Ole Miss.
They have players that beat Florida last year.
In the swamp.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 7-5. I think they could lose to Florida State to end the season.
I think Florida will be happy with that. I think Florida State will be off the rails by then. I hope with a big old L in Tuscaloosa with some oomph on it is my hope and prayer.
Gus is gone, so
Yeah,
That does
he's
help.
back at Auburn, probably giving away the house secrets. Next, we have the Woo Pig Sueys, the pork skins of Arkansas that I have going 3-9. And I just think about how Arkansas was so loaded with Darren McFadden and those guys,
Felix
and just
Jones.
how far they have fallen. Not that just hurts my feelings all that much, but I've got them at 3-9.
Yeah, Bobby Petrino fell all the way off of that motorcycle, and so did their football program.
Yeah, I mean, really, he had it rolling, and then did he leave the Atlanta Falcons to go to Arkansas, or I can't remember. Ben, you got him at 3-9 too.
Yeah, I'm like you. They've fallen way off the wagon. I heard a story today. Some of you guys probably have heard it before, but that Paul Bear Bryant was on his way to coach there from Vanderbilt. Have y'all heard this? He was
Yeah,
on
and
his
he got
way
the Pearl Harbor, right?
Yeah, I heard about Pearl Harbor on the radio, turned around and joined the Navy. And then when he came back, he went to Maryland, and then I think then Texas A&M, then Alabama or something like that. And, history changed. But he could have been the coach at Arkansas,
Jeez.
and it could have all been different. Anyway, thought I'd
No
share
tears,
that
Blake.
since I
No
don't know
tears.
anything about this year.
All right. Josh Thorne has got them at 5-7. 5-game wins. 5 wins. I got you.
Does Arkansas even get past the University of North Alabama week 1?
Hey,
Ask
alma
Not
mater.
if they were
State.
in the new stadium, they wouldn't.
The
Florida
fighting,
State hadn't been the same since North Alabama made a trip to Tallahassee.
the fighting Brent Dearmans. Oh man,
I got them going 4-8. The only thing good is they got money. They got Walmart money, but I don't think it translates to the field. So
yeah, I'm going 4-8 because they've got KJ Jackson back, who's also pretty solid dude, and our good friend Keith Harris, the president of Freed Hardeman, is a massive Arkansas fan. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. All right, we're to the Crimson Tide of Alabama. We will let Sunshine Pumper Will Mahan take a shot at the Tide first, because I think his may be pretty quick. But
Yeah, 12-0. That's what I go every year.
As always.
Blake talked tonight about biblical hope, and this has nothing to do with biblical hope because I don't know that I necessarily expect us to go 12-0, but maybe it's more of a worldly hope that we're going to go wishful. But I think this is the first time that we are talented across the board more than what we have had in the past. I do like that Kane Womack has been meeting with Saban, and he said the other day in a press conference that he's changing some things based off of what Saban has suggested. Not that I think our defense was good. The thing that I worry about every day is waking up with another injury report out of Tuscaloosa at the moment, because we just lost another linebacker for the entire season. So I think a lot of it right now is just how healthy we can be. How good we can be with Keelan Russell is to be determined. But it seems like some people have said that DeBoer putting Keelan Russell in is evidence that our offensive line is not going to be as great. And we need a more mobile guy than Mac is more of a stand in the pocket and let it fly. So I don't know. But there's big praise on Keelan, so we'll see what happens.
all right, Blake, give us the other end.
Alabama has probably one of the easiest schedules in the SEC, in my opinion. They play Vandy, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Kentucky. Like, I don't really see a gauntlet there.
Now do the month of October.
But I preface that by saying they've got the easiest schedule, and I still see them going 9-3.
Yeah.
I've got them losing to Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU. But it's because they got a young quarterback, and I mean I know the rest. I know their O-line and their defense will be really good, but I just think they're going to have some growing pains under this young quarterback, which leads me to say, is DeBoer on the hot seat after a 9-3 season? I don't know.
I think at 9-3, we still make the playoff.
Oh, y'all would make the playoff at 0-12, but
Hey, we're not Notre Dame, okay? Give us some,
that's fair.
Do we win?
If we're in the top 10, we get in. Top 12, we get in no matter what.
Do we beat Auburn?
Yes.
All right, Ben, you got the Tide at 10-2.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a couple of games in there. I wanted to go 12-0. I wanted to go 11-1, but we've got the Tennessee game is going to be a tough one. I think Georgia or not. Do we play Georgia? I'm trying to remember. Sorry, I'm not looking at the schedule. Yeah. I thought.
Yeah, we do.
So,
we got Georgia at home.
Yeah, those were the two that I really felt not good about, and of course, like what Blake mentioned, LSU is also there. And then I just don't know, what kind of trap games or something we may fall into. So I think we'll win maybe one or two big games, but I think we've got the chance of slipping up on a couple too because of the youth.
Yeah. Josh, I think I mentioned 10-2. I've got the Tide going 9-3. I think you'll have some idiots out there who are like, "Brr, hot seat, brr," and those people are not smart. I just think I'll be impressed if DeBoer doesn't have a letdown game. Like, you go to Tennessee and lose, as much as that will kill my other ever-loving soul. I think anybody that looks like a trip to Rocky Top, that's probably going to be pretty difficult, just for the crowd alone. I'll just be happy if there aren't any letdowns, that we just come out and we play. We beat the teams we're supposed to beat. We're going to slip up 3 times. But let me tell you, 2027, if people will just shut up and be quiet and not panic, is the year. 2027. We're in the top 5 of retention in the country as far as players and not leaving the transfer portal. And you better get Keelan early. I'll say that. You better get him early if you're going to get him, because I think he's going to be pretty good. I do have questions about the offensive line. Just too many transfers. But you got a LSU that, every person that's breathing air on their squad is transfer. But I think those things can turn bad quick.
There was an ESPN analyst that is an offensive line. He may have played offensive line in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Like, he went down to Tuscaloosa and said, this is the best I've seen an offensive line in Alabama look in years. So he was like, and he said,
he's right.
He said they're going to line it up and run the ball down people's throats. Now, the other thing that we also have going for us on the offensive line is every one of those guys are juniors as far as years go. Like, they're all older guys.
Yeah, they can all be back.
That have been in college systems before. So, we're not relying on a 18-year-old left tackle anymore. So we'll kind of see what happens there.
So while we're on Alabama, a question for you guys, just for the ones who actually know what they're talking about. What do you think about Indiana this year? I know it's not an SEC game, but I'm just curious, like, do you think with all the transfers, I know that they had a lot last year and had a really great season, obviously, but what do you think that their retention and their ability to hold is going to be?
Well, they're going to be 5-0 before they play anybody.
In person, Ben. You should know how good they are.
I know they beat the 11 snot out of us. So, yeah. I mean, they were good last year. I'm just wondering how well they're going to hold up this year. I agree with you. 5-0, they've got a pretty easy schedule early, but curious.
It's not. Hey, it's pertinent because they are still our disliked national champions, and they could lose their title anytime they lose this season. It will transfer over. But yeah, they're going to be 5-0. It's probably a little more difficult than it was last year. But let's just be honest, that's not a high bar.
Should we read their schedule? North Texas,
Dub,
Howard,
dub,
Western Kentucky,
dub,
Northwestern,
dub,
at Rutgers.
dub,
That's on the road. Then they're at Nebraska.
dub.
They're going to lose to Ohio State.
So that's
Then-
what's
Then they're-
6-1,
Yep. Then they're at Michigan.
7-1,
Then they're back at home against Minnesota,
8-1,
USC,
9-1,
at Washington.
10-1,
Finish the year with Purdue and home.
11-1.
What is their hardest game is Ohio State. What's the next hardest?
Probably
At Michigan.
or USC. I think
yeah.
I think USC is going to be pretty good this year. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, they got. I mean, they're playoffs.
Oh yeah,
There's
they're
no-
a shoe
no
in for
doubt.
10-2.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah.
3 tough games, and they're all at the end of the schedule.
That's crazy.
indeed. So as far as our picks are concerned, I think other than Will's got a couple of 9-3 teams that could buy, but we've definitely got Georgia in Atlanta, and most of us have Texas playing them in Atlanta. So care to give a take of who's winning that one?
Yeah, I've got Georgia and Bama.
in Bryant Denny East there in Atlanta.
I
Talking to
can't
me.
I can't pick
Okay.
Georgia or Alabama to win much of anything because it's just in my blood not to.
You're
So
a homer.
so give me I'm a homer. So give me Texas.
Texas wins. I think I'm kind of in the boat that Manning is going to wake up. He kind of woke up against Michigan last year in the bowl game. I think that the quarterback, you look at that matchup, I actually hold Gunnar Stockton in pretty high regard. I think he's a gamer. I don't think he's just an absolute game changer, but I like him.
Yeah,
But I
another
think by
Maryland.
then, I think Manning is full Death Star by that point, and we'll all be. I'd be happy to, him to declare tomorrow that he's going to the NFL and just not even play the season. I'd be happy, but we'll be tired of hearing that name. I just hope Keelan Russell's in the same breath somewhere. So I'll take Texas to win it as much as I'd much rather see Georgia win it.
I'll take Alabama to win it.
Boom. They are 9-3 team. Well, that's right. You got Alabama and Georgia. I forgot the 12-0 tied.
You want me to just
Take
go
it
ahead and
down.
move mine to 13-0?
Gotcha.
Did I have Texas at 12-0? I wasn't on at that point.
You had Texas at 11-1 and Georgia at 12-0.
I think I like Texas in that head-to-head, though. I think I'm gonna go Texas.
Yeah, I think if Georgia gets their 12-0, they're losing because they're not going to go undefeated. I just, I hadn't seen Kirby do it much, if ever. And I just think 12-0 is just incredibly difficult.
With a
That's the
9-game.
problem. I keep hearing these people, Blake. They're like, "Can DeBoer get Nick Saban?" No,
Not anymore.
it's never happening.
It's
That's
You
like a
can't-
one. Yeah,
You can't
Never
fill the
happened.
team with that much depth anymore.
all you're
And
doing is
keep
setting
it
yourself
for
up
a
for
long time.
anxiety.
Yeah.
So my golden dislike to start the 2026 season is to the Alabama fan base. Like, adjust yourself. And super golden dislike, guys who don't even know if a football's stuffed or pumped. Paul Feinbaum and Stephen A. Smith. Like, give me, golden dislike. You guys got one?
Golden dislike. Indiana's roster averaging the age of a 25-year-old adult male that should be working in the world. Golden dislike. Mendoza being older than starting NFL quarterbacks.
He threw a pick six the other day. It was fun to watch.
80-yard pick six. My
And he got stiff arm trying to run that guy down.
golden like Ty Simpson being the best rookie quarterback in the preseason.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining the Good Old Fashioned Dislike podcast. We're going to call it here. It's way past Will's bedtime.
Blake, you got a dislike other than Will's prediction?
Literally, my golden dislike is the opposite of everything Will just said. So
Nice. Also, the Alabama fan base take on Ty, like, I'm ready for him to leave. Blah, blah, blah.
oh yeah, he was good.
Yes, he was. Ben, you got one?
Yeah, it's the same as it's been the last several seasons, and it's the stupid transfer portal. I mean, I think from the standpoint of what y'all said earlier of not being able to keep the depth, and I think just the loyalty thing, it just still irks me that, I went and got to play in an Alabama jersey. I'd want to play in an Alabama jersey, and I feel like if that was what you were doing as an Auburn fan or Tennessee, I don't understand I'm just going to bounce everywhere. I know the money is important, but it irritates me as an old man. So
I'll give you a golden dislike. Transparency or lack of transparency from the SEC headquarters. I love how the ACC does it. If there's a review, you get to hear what they're saying. Yeah. You get to listen to it's all out there. It's all in the open. And if they're dead wrong, then it's on display for the entire country to see. I just don't want to see Auburn get railroaded by just incompetence or lack of transparency from officiating anymore. Let's get it all out there. Sankey knows what to do. I think he's just too scared to do it because he's got the SEC, which is the Death Star, and he doesn't want to do anything to buck the trend. So,
did that happen to y'all last year?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So many times. So many times.
We would have beat
Kirby
Georgia.
out there calling timeouts.
Yes. We would have beat Georgia. We would have beat Oklahoma. We would have beat a couple other people. So, give me some transparency.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I got one more golden dislike before I let you guys go, and that's to the Grim Reaper. Leave Dolly Parton. What's up with that? Huh? What's up with that?
And Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Like the one Vol
that was good.
That doesn't know me personally that I appreciated. So anyway.
Here's the thing, we can all join together. Well, we're gonna leave Ben out of Atlanta this weekend, but the Iron Bowl of basketball is coming to Huntsville in October.
Ooh.
So I think it was Huntsville. Is it Birmingham?
I'm not sure. I know they're going to play.
Yeah, they're going to play early.
For Birmingham. Let's go Birmingham. I
bet you are.
Going to play. So we can take a break from football to go watch the Iron Bowl of basketball.
At the old Legion Field. That's what I'm cheering for. Hey, guys, I appreciate your time. Y'all have a good evening. And, hey, it's here. It's here. We've been waiting. So looking forward to it.
Go.